Alright, it is time to get the nonsense started as I get everything situated and everything. So, last time. Well, I mean, yesterday I kinda lost my mind a tiny bit. That sure was a stream of all time. But last time here, we actually hit credits on Realm Reborn. They literally said the thing and then went to credits. Which is still one of the funniest things this game has done. But we also started doing finding coils of Bahamut and got through the first coil. And actually, how many coils are there? Let me pull that. I just had the wiki page for it up. 1 second. 1, 2. Yeah, just 3 coils. Okay. That's what I thought, but yeah, couldn't remember. But you're not. There's the mender. There we go. Anyway, got through the first coil, and we are now starting on the second, if memory serves. God, every time I look at an Urianger text box, my dyslexia starts acting up. Also, it feels weird seeing Alice talk like that. Just the overall dialogue style shifting from Realm Reborn over into Heavensward is so dramatic and it's such a thing that nobody really seems to talk about. It's weird. A moon-sized solar generator powered by a dragon, or kept in the sky by a dragon. Like, that's kind of metal, all things considered. Alright. All gourd float. Said. Okay. I see the weather is going to hinder how we experience this slightly. Yeah, bro, I can't see shit either. If only the weather wasn't as bad. It'll be clear when we get up close, but still. God, the humming noises this, Omega makes. And this right here is why the Coils of Bahamut needs to be made mandatory, because it's such a big character piece for Alice. All right. First, make sure... Okay, yeah, I still have that disabled. So we can actually get the cutscenes. I do love the approach to this thing. It's just a bunch of floating rocks. And... there we go. I love that transition. All right. Get the train started, boys. Aggro everything. Hey. You. Oh, I can't actually... I don't have line of sight on him. Technically. Now I got line of sight. It's weird how they just kind of clip through segments like that. And whether they can or can't see you is kind of a crapshoot. Not that I have much to worry about from them. Well, you know what they say. Kill it with fire. Moving forward. Oh, right, it just takes you out. It doesn't have a follow-up scene. So, okay. This actually, I have a minor bit of trauma with. As I remember trying to solo these raids back when I was in, like, Shadowbringers, I want to say. But because I get very easily overwhelmed with on-screen information and everything, which is why I have, like, names turned off unless I'm targeting you, sort of deal. I didn't have names over the interactable stuff. So I got that far into this one, despite being able to solo it, and could not figure out how to progress. Because there is such a small bit of interactable area here that is not really marked if you don't have the object name displayed. Good talk. 1 second. One moment while I respond to a DM real quick. Okay. I love that there's just a shot of you yeeting yourself onto the platform as it scrolls by. Hi, Nyx. Oh, hi there. Really, you're gonna spread out that much? The internet had better be nice to you, Nyx. Action snake. Anyway, here's Bahamut. So there has been a tiny bit of lore you missed. Mainly that there are 3 things keeping Bahamut alive. I did not know that. That is good to know. So yeah, 3 things keeping Bahamut alive. We've already shut down the one in Limsa. We are now doing the one that's stuck in Gridania. And we have met a new character. Nail von Darnus, or as they're now calling themselves, Nail Deus Darnus. Yeah, they're effectively cores. I did not mean to click on that. Yeah, Nail is a big one in the lore of FF14 as a whole, because they were the final boss of 1.0. Like, Nail was the one to, you know, stage the Battle of Cartano and pull Dalmud out of orbit. And even though the Warriors of Light killed Darnus, Dalamud had already been moved out of orbit and was falling and couldn't be stopped. And now they're worshipping Bahamut. Also, fun fact, this is not the last you see of Nail. We will be seeing Nail again in Shadowbringers patch content. I mean, you are correct, but like, you gotta keep in mind, Dalamud was never a true moon. It was a spacecraft that just needed to be tugged out of alignment. It's, well, okay. It's more like a very large space station that was using a dragon as a propulsion system to keep it in orbit. I mean, that's true too, yes. But it had its moons. I mean, Final Fantasy and its moons. Like, there has never been a Final Fantasy game where the moon has been invoked in a good way. Not a natural moon, anyway. Like, Dalamud is a space station, and the other was created by Hydaelyn to imprison Zodiark, yeah. I mean, yeah, but like, at the same time, the very idea of using Zodiark as, or using the moon as a prison for Zodiark and then a spacecraft to get to a different moon or different planet, that's just Final Fantasy IV, baby. A spherical donut. This one, I remember the first time I went through this one, I got lost. So, expect some bumblefucking. Because this is one of the most open-ended dungeons in the game. And technically you can get through it without doing any actual combat, if memory serves. You just have to like time everybody's movements to avoid those guys. Actually, I think these guys might be a required fight with the way they were positioned. That doesn't shock me. Oh yeah, definitely. I just gotta murder this thing, and then it'll kick me out, and I'll be in the next one. Algan Crib. Actually, it's an Algan Treant. Because, like, this is the animation and model for the Treants, just a different skin. He's actually more resilient than I thought he would be. Okay. I forgot this thing has insta-kill stuff. Alright. I see your game. This is a damage race. Fuck you, buddy. Kill me once? That's fine. I just have to try. Just need to smack it marginally harder with the book. I mean, you're not wrong, but I would prefer to just drop a bigger dragon on it. Back in the basement. Welcome back. Just in time for the 4th turn, where we get a shit ton of lore dumps. And the Kato, good. Reminder, we are underground still. This is where we get into the, where we get into the idea that a sufficiently strong primal or something can just manifest whatever the fuck they want the surroundings to look like. Like, we are effectively just in a pocket dimension at this point. And I'm so glad they go there because they use that in so many neat ways. I mean, yes. Like, there is a reason why from Heavensward on they have intentionally differentiated the twins with their outfits. Though I do love that Emiliance gets a line in Endwalker where she bemoans not being able to dress them up identically anymore. that this is the first time Nail has been shown without the helmet. Ever. Also note the use of he, him pronouns here. Still can't have Tome of Part either. Correct, Nyx. No, see, that's the funny thing. The horror is technically misgendering itself. So, what happened is that before the events of 1.0 actually kick off, the real Nail von Darnus dies. I think it's in Bozja. And then his sister takes his place and does everything for 1.0. But because of how the Garlean chain of command worked and everything, she had so thoroughly buried her own identity that when she was on the verge of death and Bahamut plucked her soul out before she could die, she truly believes she is her brother here. So, like, this is effectively like a male mind in a female soul and body, which is kind of fascinating to think about. And not at all an intended trans allegory, I don't think. Anyway. I'm gonna kill you with your god. Aww. Or egg then trans, yeah. Honestly. Very much unwell, yeah. But I also really enjoy the visuals there because it gives, like, new players the ability to just have a look around and experience what it was like in the final days of the 1.0 server. Because, like, there's a very good, well, I wouldn't say good or fascinating, but there's a video out there of somebody recording their, or the last, I want to say like 10 or 11 minutes of like just hanging out with people on the 1.0 servers and just like fucking around and everything. And the atmosphere for that is like genuinely unnerving. Like you look up and you can see like Dalamud very slowly getting bigger, like fucking Majora's Mask style. And you're hearing like comms chatter from the Battle of Cartano. And how like I actually think like some of the dialogue that gets played in cutscenes for Realm Reborn during flashbacks to Cartano, I think it's like Raubon specifically, will actually like use the dialogue lines that were showing up in like the global chat for 1.0 servers as it was ticking down the time to turn off the servers. Yeah. 1.0 will never not be fascinating to me, if only because it's just so inaccessible now, but plays such a huge part in the foundation of literally everything that comes afterwards. Like, to the point that even fucking Endwalker is doing 1.0 callbacks. Because that, like, it's the scene where, you load up all the primals in, or into Ragnarok. Basically, like, Ragnarok is going off, and, like, there's that big eruption of, like, green ether, and then all the primals come flying out of it. That is a shot taken directly from the 1.0 trailers. Like, Ardbert and his party are the player character stand-ins in the 1.0 trailer. Like, even Ciela is in that party. Let's see, fuck, I've completely gone past where I need to be. Like, it's just so fascinating how intertwined 1.0 is, considering you can't experience it anymore. Already did that. Pray return to the Waking Sands. I keep forgetting Urianger is off in this side room. I'm glad to see you're in on the joke now, Nix. Glad to know that you didn't miss much then. I mean, Bahamut himself is a gender, being a dragon in this world. So, like, probably doesn't even understand the difference between genders and mortals, to be perfectly honest. Probably doesn't care. The oldest of the first brood. Like, that's the big thing. Bahamut and Tiamat are the two oldest of Midgardsormr's brood. And I want to say Bahamut is at least 100 years older than Tiamat. Which is why they are so fucking strong. Like, they are the strongest dragons on the planet. Like, Nitty or Race Review. So, from what I understand of the timeline, Hraesvelgr, Nidhogg, Ratatoskr, and Asdaya had all hatched by the time Bahamut and Tiamat were in Mare Cydia, just kind of quietly ruling over conflicts there. But by the time that Vritra had hatched, Bahamut had already been killed by the Allagan Empire. And that would eventually spiral out until, like, the tribes of Mare Cydia unite against Allag. Like, I want to say, like, after another century or two. And Asdaya helps, the Mare Cydians push back Allag, which then prompts Xandi to start bringing in the Void Scent. And then Asdaya starts clashing with the Cloud of Darkness, dragging Asdaya into, the Void. So, like, I want to say Vritra missed actually knowing Bahamut by less than, like, 5 years or so. And yes, like, all of the eggs were laid back on the Dragon Star, and Midgardsormr grabbed them and brought them with him as he was fleeing. So like, not only are like Bahamut and Tiamat the eldest and thus the most powerful of the dragon, or of the brood, because of how dragon eyes work, but the entire fucking clutch got bombarded by like celestial ether and absorbed a lot of shit that way, so they are probably also all just insanely powerful because of that. Yeah, so I think Vritra mentions at one point that Azdaia is like 200 or some years older than him, just based on when their eggs hatched. But yeah, and I want to say, like, the timeline between like Bahamut hatching and then Vritra hatching is somewhere around like 1,000 years. Yeah, Vritra is by far the most baby of the brood. Anyway, back to the actual conversation in game. Oh yeah, no, the dragon lore in this is so good. So like, this could be very, very wrong, but like, I want to say like Bahamut was the first, then Tiamat, then Ratatoskr, then like Hraesvelgr and Nidhogg were effectively twins, then Azdaia, and then Vritra. I believe that's the order. I could be wrong. Anyway, time for the third and final leg of this raid group, or raid series. Vritra is baby, indeed. Oh yeah, Grandpappy is McFuck huge. As for like Nidhogg, I feel like there's a conversation in Heavensward where Hraesvelgr reminisces that like Nidhogg actually was pretty chill until Ratatoskr was killed. Just like he was very close with Ratatoskr, and once she died, he kind of spiraled off the deep end fast. Fog, go away! I want to see the pretty landmarks and shit. Yeah. But, like, at the time, it wasn't so much, like, overt distrust or dislike as much as being closer to just being kind of reserved or shy. Like, at least that's how I interpreted it. He never really liked mortals, but he also didn't outwardly hate them, sort of thing. Pretty much, yeah. Also, I find it very funny that Alice, of all people, got the names of the twin assistants that she's got backwards. If this is Sinus, Dex is the one that's gone missing, and they are playing it for a laugh. No, I'm not surprised. I just find it very funny. Okay, but like the problem there is, where do you get explosives big enough to damage the corrupted crystals? Because, like, from what I understand, corrupted crystals are big enough to withstand, you know, the apocalyptic level calamities sort of thing. Like, yes, the crashing of Dalamud and Bahamut's rampage caused this, but also it could survive another one, from what I understand. No, we haven't. And probably shouldn't. Anyway, I love the look of this place, and just how electricity is crackling fucking everywhere. Round around. Okay, you know what? Valid. Hi, Cry. You have a nerd face. 93 months. God damn. A month streak, yup. Why do you bake bread with bone dust? Why not? Just use it as flour. Oh, I see. We're filling up the cup for a bitsplosion. Thank you for the biddies cry. Appreciate you. I keep forgetting about the fucking free real estate voice line, and it always takes me off guard. And another bitsplosion. Thank you for gifting the sub, Cry. 103 gift subs. Jesus Christ, Cry. Thank you, nerd. I mean, I've got stuff coming up. Don't worry.
Now I'm a little motivated.
All right. The ethereal sickness was only because we went so far. Like, we went across, like, literally across the world. Like, maybe. How do I out to the that here we go. Yeah, we teleported from this side of the planet to this side. So, you know, just going from, like, okay, so, Vanillin. And more donut. So, like, going from here up to here, that's not as bad. Am I caught up on what? Hi, Tora! I have played the Manderville stuff up to Endwalker. I haven't touched Dawn Trail yet. Oh, nice, Tora! Congrats! And thank you for the head pats. Aw, sorry to hear that. And thank you for the head pats, Cry. And you, Nyx. I appreciate y'all helping me keep my head polished. I mean, technically, they're 16. Not a huge difference, but they would be very upset if you got it wrong. Alright. A final coil. Some of the coolest imagery the game has to offer. And I say that even with Endwalker in perspective. Yeah, no, I would love to have you along. Like, this shit just looks fucking cool. Oh, absolutely. Like, I did it, I did this for the first time while I was in Shadowbringers, and there's so much here that I wish I had known during Heavensward. Boop. Gotta boop this one too. Yes, it is absolutely mandatory assigned reading. Why are they playing this song? Because this is Bahamut's theme in A Realm Reborn. Like, Answers is just the theme of Bahamut, effectively. Until we get to Endwalker, and they recontextualize it to being Heidel's song. And in the process, just make it FF14's main theme. Also, I would like to point y'all to the test tubes that all have very dragon-y shapes in them. Answers. Like, that's the overall name of the song. This specific version, I believe, is Bahamut's Answers, or something like that. Range. Anyway. Oh, right. He actually has mechanics I have to pay attention to. So, my understanding, at least, is Nyx is actually right. The tubes around are Bahamut and Tiamat's children. Kept in a perpetual state of consciousness and, consciousness and pain, so that they are eternally calling out for their dad to come save them. And that's what keeps Bahamut manifested in the physical realm. Actual summon versions of the primals? Yeah. Same. But yeah, that's like one of the most metal concepts. I mean, Alec is already dead, so... Oh, we'll get to that in the Alliance raid stuff, don't worry. Alright. Hope you, get to feeling a little better, Cry. Gonna sit in a hot bath and be able to watch some guy in Rust trap people in a trap base and force them to paint pictures to be let out. Amazing. And fight the power we shall. Also, Cry, I will send you YouTube links for the songs and the versions of answers. They all kick ass. Absolutely, yeah. Like, this is such a massive part of Alisaie's character arc. On to the second turn. It is, yeah. So this is another one that's fairly open-ended in how you approach it. Whee! Yeah, no, like, it is wild just how important these raids are to the lore of the game. I actually... Okay. Nope, that's a kill wall. Okay. I actually forget how you get past that. If it's a thing where you have to get everything else killed or something. Oh, wait, no, I think I know what it is. So, I actually don't think I've ever actually cleared this turn specifically. Because what I think it is you have to have 4 people on each pad. And you have to have 8 people in here with you when you do it. Yeah. Well, I don't think I can actually solo this. That said, I don't think there's any actual story content for this. Well, I mean, this was never meant to be soloed. Like, this was very much designed with the idea of 8 people coming through here at minimum. That said, we can just skip it. You do not have to do these in order. You don't technically have to do any of them. And like turns 2 and 3 are also like oh no, I have done 2. Alright. But like turns 2 and 3 are usually not story important. It's always 1 and 4 that have the story. And no, you cannot bring NPCs on raids, unfortunately.
Gods, he is almost whole again.
I forgot this got voice acting.
His size is staggering. I can scarce imagine how Grandfather stood against such a monstrosity.
This cannot be allowed to proceed any further. Let us disable the coil and move on. Grandfather? No, that man is dead.
Oh, I can solo
I
her
will
too?
not dishonor my beloved grandsire's memory by calling you such.
So what's the thing of with the platforms then? Activate one platform, die, then activate the other. So how do you activate them then? That's the big question.
You are but his twisted shape.
Stand on him?
The thrall of a mad primal.
For how long?
You're foolish to disregard my warning, child. Are you so convinced of your own righteousness?
That said,
It is the rightness of our path that led us to return. Eorzea will never be safe whilst Bahamut remains to threaten all we hold dear.
I will go back to it then, but like, I also don't think there's any story development there. And yes, Nyx.
What of the hero who gave his life in defense of the realm? Do you truly dispute the justice of our cause?
This VA? Which VA? Which character?
My poor, ignorant grandchildren. Your world is shaped by naught but recent conflict. Listen, and I will speak to you of justice.
Let me look that up real quick. Okay, let's see. David Lodge is who he is voiced by in English. Let's see, what else has he done? He's done Trails in the Sky. Let me get the chat back where I can read it. Let's see. Fantasy Life, Dynasty Warriors Origins, Digimon Adventure Movie. He was Cliff Hudson in the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. Let's see. Oh shit! He's Sabu in River City Girls 2. Like, that's where I would probably recognize him the most. But he's also done Geralt in Three Houses and Simon Wilfort in Triangle Strategy. He's also the fake Igor in Persona 5. Let's see. Looks like he's also the English voice of Jiraiya in Naruto. I'm just scrolling down seeing what other notable roles he's got. Lots of Lego shit. Lego and Hot Wheels. In Smite, he voices Hades and Ymir. He's also fucking in a Care Bears movie? Okay, that's a weird flex. Oh no. Oh no. Nyx, he's also in Persona 2. Wanna guess who he voices in Persona 2? I feel sorry for him all of a sudden. No. He's Hitler. Persona 2 was fucking weird, y'all. Oh, hey, he's also Julius Belmont in Harmony of Despair. Neat. See. Oh, he was in Paprika. He was also Kakanis in Lost Odyssey? I would not have pegged that. Holy shit. Did several voices in World of Warcraft. Archimond, Seer Olam, and Terran Gorefiend. Okay. He was 3 monsters in Power Rangers Wild Force. Two in Lightspeed Rescue. 1 in Lost Galaxy. God damn. One of the earliest credits he's got is fucking Grimace for McDonald's. Okay. I am done ogling his credits list.
'Twas in the twilight of the third astral era. The southern land of Mericidia suffered invasion at the hands of the Alagon Empire. With no atrocity too depraved for their purpose, the forces of Alig were unstoppable in their advance. Desperate for salvation, the dragons prayed to one of their first brood, to their ancestor Bahamut. Infused by the power of their fervent supplications, Bahamut arose from the abyss of death and took wing as the Mericidian's newborn god. Yet this great miracle would only serve to further the maniacal designs of the dragon's imperial conquerors. The cruel fetters which bind my lord stand testament to the Allagon's boundless greed and hubris.
Yeah, I can see that, Nix.
I once summoned the 12.
Oh, gee, what? No, God, motherfucker. Hang on. No. We spent too long in the cutscene. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to do this one then. That way we can just let the cutscene play normally when we get back to Louisoix. I mean, you played OG English Nocturne. I played the remaster first. Yep. Yep, the remaster was my entry point. There we go. Wait, do I have to return, or can I just stand on this one? Oh, there we go. Okay, this one you have to go around for, it looks like. I think, okay, no, this is the one where you have to return or die. Because, like, yeah, there's no way for me to get back. May as well just clear out everything then. Oh, lost his fuck the first time. Yeah, I can see that. There we go. Mecha Durgan. Anyway. Having a freak. Oh, he's still invincible. There we go. Interesting. I knew that all of the dragons that are Bahamut's are all named after Hindu stuff. So no, you didn't. Okay. Now we have proper context for the grandpa scene. I'm actually gonna let this go on its own.
Gods, he is almost whole again.
His size is staggering. I can scarce imagine how Grandfather stood against such a monstrosity.
This cannot be allowed to proceed any further. Let us disable the coil and move on. Grandfather? No, that man is dead. I will not dishonor my beloved grandsire's memory by calling you such. You are but his twisted shade, the thrall of a mad primal.
You were foolish to disregard my warning, child. Are you so convinced of your own righteousness?
"'Tis the rightness of our path that led us to return. Eorzea will never be safe whilst Bahamut remains to threaten all we hold dear. What of the hero who gave his life in defense of the realm? Do you truly dispute the justice of our cause?
My poor, ignorant grandchildren. Your world is shaped by naught but recent conflict. Listen, and I will speak to you of justice. 'Twas in the twilight of the Third Astral Era. The southern land of Mericidia suffered invasion at the hands of the Allagan Empire. With no atrocity too depraved for their purpose, the forces of Allig were unstoppable in their advance. Desperate for salvation, the dragons prayed to one of their first brood, to their ancestor Bahamut. Infused by the power of their fervent supplications, Bahamut arose from the abyss of death and took wing as the Mericidians' newborn god. Yet this great miracle would only serve to further the maniacal designs of the dragon's imperial conquerors. The cruel fetters which bind my lord stand testament to the Allagan's boundless greed and hubris. I once summoned the 12 in an attempt to forestall the advent of the 7th Umbral Era. What then did the dragons of Mericidia do that I did not? Wherefore are they accursed and I exalted? 'Tis man's overweening belief in his own primacy that blinds him to the commonness of his condition and the truth of his own tyranny. As long as man is suffered to remain, the dragons shall never be at peace. Only when the plague of people has been expunged shall the children of Lord Bahamut be free. Then shall the world know true justice.
Stop it! Grandfather would never say such things. His belief that people were worth saving never faltered. He had faith in their strength, that they could stand together and push back against the darkness seeking to shape them.
A false hope. 'Tis folly to place one's faith in so flawed a race. Stand together? Huh. They would first need to agree on which direction to face. If history teaches us anything, it is that man cannot find common ground between his own 2 feet. Even you, twins whose veins run with the same blood, struggle to fathom each other's reasoning. You hide your differing agendas behind the convenient banner of Eorzea's salvation. Given your obvious self-interest, can you truly claim no kinship with the Allagans? And though I hope they might bring you closer, 'twould seem that the twin grimoires I bestowed upon you were a wasted gesture.
There may well be truth in your judgment of Alize and me, but such a one-sided tirade bemoaning the evils of man rings false, coming from the lips of Archon Louisoix. Tell me, do you champion the cause of dragons because Bahamut compels you as his thrall? Or is it because you yourself have transcended the limits of man's existence?
Ah, so the possibility did not escape your notice. What I prayed for and what I have become. These are the keys that unlock the truth behind Eorzea's rebirth.
Because he's not the fake grandpa.
If you would have them, then you must needs take them by force. Come, rend this divine form asunder and claim your answers.
But I thought... No. He has become a primal?
It is difficult, I know, but you must accept it. That entity is no phantom or imposter. It is our beloved grandsire.
Please, for his sake and for ours, you must defeat our grandfather.
There is a reason he's doing this. But this is why when Bahamut goes on cooldown, Summon Bahamut becomes Summon Phoenix. Because Phoenix and Bahamut are so interlinked because of Louisoix. I mean, you say that, but... You know what, I'm gonna just hang out for a little bit. Alright. Let me show you how real Phoenix does it. And now, for quite possibly the coolest looking arena in the game.
"'Twas a long and arduous road, but at last we reach its end. Farewell, Bahamut. I banish you back to the ether.
Thank you.
He is not yet whole. I did not think him capable.
Alize! Alize!
I had thought it finally over. I will not survive another blast. No. Is this how I honor my promise to Grandfather?
You must needs find your own reason to fight for this realm. Your own meaning in this sea of chaos. Will you do that for me?
I will, Grandfather. In fact, I believe I already have. That reason has been with me all along, guiding me. Eorzea's blade of light, shearing through endless shrouds of darkness. I have been shown the miraculous feats of which we are all capable, of which I am capable. Bahamut, you have wreaked enough havoc. I will not let your wrathful fires consume all that we know and love.
How long I have waited to hear you say that! You have found your resolve at last! Let me join my strength to yours. In this place, in this moment, our purpose has become one. Future of Eorzea!
Thank you for the head pats, Tora.
This last task is yours, Warrior of Light. You must destroy Bahamut's crystal core.
I love that there's 8 impacts, even though I'm soloing this. All those orbs, 7 of them empty. Just the framing of this being on a floating fucking disc in the middle of nothing, trapped with him. Like, look at this shit. This is also the only place in-game that you can hear the full version of answers, by the way. Anyway, time to fight Bahamut with Bahamut. There we go. Have to wait for it to be vulnerable to magic. Oh, definitely. Where you at? Oh. Hey. Oh, I got hit. For all the good it did. You'll hear a decent chunk of it, at least. Yeah. This is also very much like the blueprint for future big primal fights like Thornton and Alexander. Also, this is all on timers, by the way. Like, if you're slow on your DPS, things will keep spawning in, whether you like it or not. Like, this was an endurance fight back in the day. What's that, Nyx? Also, keep in mind, I am level 90. That still moved my health bar. Like, I was in no danger of dying. But yeah, that was, I believe, the first instance of a required tank buster or a tank level 3 limit break. If you wanted to get through that, you need, on level, you needed to have a tank level 3 limit break. You know what? Fuck it. What does this look like? Not bad. Not worth keeping, but may as well grab it on my way out.
You did it!
Oh yeah, no, like Bahamut is like 10 times of what Nidhogg is going through.
But one task remains. With this last coil disabled, there shall be naught left to bind Bahamut to this world. His beloved children will finally know peace.
Very much so, yeah. Because, like, not only is it that he's very much remembering everything as if it was all happening concurrently, but remember, he was summoned out of the grief of Tiamat and had that as his starting point. All he could remember is suffering and grief. What's that? What question, Nix?
"'Tis done. He is truly gone."
Yes, a massive drain, yeah.
You knew, didn't you? You knew what Grandfather had become.
I was not certain, but from all I had gleaned, it seemed a distinct possibility.
So, with the exception of Midgard Sormer, who has, like, a special deal, with Heidelin, who kind of keeps him around in a sort of different state of being. For the rest of the dragons, First Brood included, when they're dead, they're dead. Like, it is just very much the same mortal version of death. Like, the only exception is if they give out their eyes. Like, Nidhogg was able to cheat death because Estinian had both of his eyes. But, like, if Vritra's body were to die while his eye was in Varshan, Vritra would still just die. Now, if he gave Varshan both of his eyes, he would be able to manifest a new body through Varshan like that. But yeah, like, so long as a dragon has both of their eyes, when they die normally. And Bahamut, as far as I'm aware, did. But also, primals are not biological dragons, so, like, when Bahamut died there, he died for good.
The scene people describe of the Battle of Cartano was one of unimaginable devastation, and 'tis through the combined prayers of the desperate and an abundant source of ether that primals are born. I merely put two and two together.
And you consider that a sufficient explanation? Well, however you stumbled across your theory, 'twas this revelation that made you wary of my attachment to Grandfather. You feared that in my obsession I would fall under his primal sway. Is that why you decided to join us? To pull me back should I show signs of wavering?
Pray forgive me, sister. I wished only to protect you. Yet I see now that I needn't have doubted the strength of your conviction. May I ask you a question? What do you now intend to do with the truth you have uncovered?
It sure does. It also foreshadows Shiva.
The fact that desperate prayer gave rise to the primal phoenix? That this new god was responsible for setting Eorzea on the path to rebirth? Should such a tale become common knowledge, people would soon offer up their prayers in earnest. They would beseech Phoenix to complete the healing that was begun.
Yet as you and I know all too well, the very act of calling forth this savior would do more harm to the land than good. We cannot encourage such worship for this very reason. Were Grandfather forced to return as an ether-draining primal, it would undo all that he had worked to protect. Your abiding love for him was the key that unlocked the truth of the calamity. But keys may also serve to seal doors that were best left unopened. Let your love now guide your actions, and lock away deep inside the fate of both Grandfather and Bahamut.
That's a good point, Tora.
Fear not, Alfino. I understand what must be done. The realm need not know the truth for it to be saved. That the Elder Primal is banished, to return no more. That is enough. Let us make our way back to the surface. Poor Oriange must be beside himself with worry.
Oh, also, I forgot that the first form of the Phoenix fight is literally just a mount. Get a special emote and everything. Unfortunately, you can't get it anymore because it was a seasonal event thing, but... Oh yeah, no, the towers in Endwalker were just basically the internment hulks in Dalma, just on a different scale. I mean, they have mounts too. They just chose to walk. Ah, you're good. He's just got the big old pointy ears. Hey, we can tell them apart finally. Oh, don't worry. They'll know soon enough. Because saving the world isn't a one-time gig. Yes. Don't worry about it too much, Nix. Huh. Okay. Was expecting a cutscene to play there, but there's ways I can trigger it, don't worry. But there is a reason, or a thing that I want to address, because before we get into each, expansion, I have the intention to, you know, go through the cinematic trailer, just to get in the right headset for things. But I didn't specifically for Realm Reborn for a reason. Because one of the quest rewards for those quests is itself a cutscene. One that we can just access from here. That's... It really is, yeah. Hang on, let me look up what spot I should be looking in. Do-do-do. There and fuck. Actually, give me 1 second. I need to use the restroom. I will be back in just a minute. Okay, I can't find says, but oh wait, here. Comet. No, that's not it. The fact that it maybe number 2? Nope. Okay. You know what? I can just do this another way. 1 second. Come here, YouTube. That's not what I wanted. So capture. That's what I'm looking for. That. Second to crop this down. Face transform. There we go. It's gonna cut off my face a little bit, but let me get audio source. Okay. Thanks, Tora. You goober. Anyway. This is the cutscene that you get for going through Bahamut stuff. So, rid of these. Yeah. That's the ultimate reward for doing Bahamut. So, Nyx, what was your question? Yes. Like, he has been a primal for thousands of years. Like, he was a primal when Dalamud was first launched into the sky. Like, we can basically assume that the real Bahamut was closer in size to Bahamut Prime and basically looked the same minus the, like, gold bits on his face and shoulders. So, yeah, no, exactly, yeah. Also, a small point that the ether that was just in the air at Cartano when fighting Bahamut was equivalent to 12 primals, effectively. And Louiswa just absorbed all of that. Because they literally tried to summon the 12 gods of Eorzea to beat the shit out of Bahamut. The problem comes with how primals work. Because, like, say the Amalja summon Ifrit. A different faction of Amalja cannot summon a second version of Ifrit to fight the first version. Only one version of Ifrit can exist in, you know, in the physical realm at a time. That extends to the gods as well. You could not summon the 12 gods because they were already there. So yeah, just with all of that said and done, I'm actually torn on what I want to do now. Because, like, we could dip our toes into the patch content stuff. Also, hi, Poke here. Or we could go ahead and get some Crystal Tower stuff going. The Crystal Tower, so I want to do Crystal Tower unsynced with 2 friends. But we can only do that with 2 branches of the Crystal Tower raids. Because, like, here, let me pull this up. No, actually, like, three parties with at least 1 member each are necessary when the unrestricted party is in effect. So that, the 12 is only for Labyrinth of the Ancients. And I'm going to just make a very quick and dirty diagram because I know Nyx hasn't done Labyrinth of the Ancients. Actions and traits. Strategy board. Add object. Mine's on. No, we don't need that. So, okay. Gonna put this over there like so. This over here like so. And then we're just going to pretend there's a third one in here. So, what Labyrinth of the Ancients does is it forces the three parties into 3 lanes. So, we're just gonna say, party circle there, party X there, party triangle there. I'm just gonna be using a lot of different generic icons to illustrate this, so keep that in mind. There are 3 bosses. And just use different roll icons here in each lane. There are then three pads at the top of the lane. Like so. However, 4 people in each party have to be standing on these pads, right? But while less than 4 people are on this pad, the bosses down here have barriers that make them invincible. Here's the problem, though. This pad does this barrier. I might be doing these in reverse order, but like this pad does this boss, this pad does this boss, this pad does that boss. So if you have less than 4 people on the pads in any lane, you cannot progress. So, like, going through Labyrinth of the Ancients specifically, I'm gonna have to queue up for. The rest of the raid, or Alliance raids, or Crystal Tower ones anyway, I can, just do with 2 other friends. But Labyrinth of the Ancients specifically, for this specific mechanic, requires a full party, yeah. So, like, I feel like I've got time to get through Labyrinth of the Ancients with New Game Plus. But I would want to do that as a different class. We got. I could do Paladin. It wouldn't get... Like, how... What is the... Labyrinth of the Ancient? Oh, so there is no... If I, queue up for Labyrinth of the Ancient specifically, there's no, experience bonus. Good. So I can just run whatever I want. Good to know. It's like... You'll notice I'm trying to keep everything as close to 90 as possible. I haven't been able to do that. I've just been dumping Wondrous Tale stuff into Astrologian because I don't like playing Astrologian. But I want to keep things as close to 90 as I can keep them, so I'm on level for Dawn Trail when I eventually get there. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do Paladin. Plus... Crystal Tower. I see people have come to Mordona after a raid, I'm guessing. Do we recognize this nerd? I don't know. Oh, Ozma? Yeah. Funny you should say that, Nyx. Nyx, do you really not know who this is? I mean, it's not a reference, but... I mean... You don't need your Gundam education here. This is all 14 stuff. This is Nero. Nero is Sid's Char, but... That's okay. I didn't catch that. Okay. My bad. 100% to reference chart. Oh yeah. Just above the char line. Also, just... Can we talk about these guys' fucking eyebrows? Real quick, just... eyebrows so long they dangle over their ears. Like, bro. Got to that point without prior knowledge of Nero. Fun. Oh, yeah, definitely. Also, this fucking potato's eyes, man. I beat the shit out of something. That makes me an archaeologist. Shoot. Time to steal some crystals. There we go. Nice. Oh, I took a wrong turn. There we go. Anyway. Oh yeah, no. I feel you there, Nyx. But also, Nyx, at least the maps are useful in some extent compared to the 1.0 maps, which are just nonsense. Actually, hold up. Let me look up something real quick. So that's, I want to say, the northern shroud, maybe? It's the area with Quarry Mill. Wait, actually, let me check that. South Shroud, okay. Yeah, that's what the South Shroud looked like on the map in 1.0. You got lost and almost cried. I feel ya. Wrong button. Just had to play Frisbee with him. Tora. It's not what you said, it's how you said it that's funny. Don't worry about it. It makes sense to me. And that's all that matters. Stop it. Get some help. So 1 second, my phone's ringing. Okay, I return. He really is, yeah. Okay. That said, I do need to cut things a little shorter than I intended to, because I need to go take care of something for Mom. Nothing major or anything, just something that needs to be taken care of. So I'm gonna call things there. We'll pick this up next time, though. And I'm not gonna mess with a raid, because honestly, I just need to cut stream and go take care of this. But anyway, thank you all for coming and hanging out. I'll be back on Tuesday. In the meantime, y'all have an excellent evening, take care, and I will catch you all next time.